Greetings everyone and welcome back to Avorion, where in this episode we are going to be building a new ship, a warship specifically. Now there are a couple of things that I wanted to cover before we got down to building, however, and those are mostly changes to the game. I am now using the beta branch, so there's a couple of new things that need to be addressed, namely thrusters, for example, now do scale with volume rather than purely surface area, amongst many other things. Thrusters as a whole have changed in some ways that will in many ways invalidate the way that I've been building with them up to now. So it's worth bearing that in mind. Thrusters have changed quite a lot, but also I am running with mods. We have updated the Dappling Avorion server to the beta branch, and we've installed a couple of mods, and I've even gone ahead and installed a few others. Now I'm not going to go over the mods in detail until we are actually doing something that addresses them. Otherwise, you know, again, info dump not as useful. But one thing that is very, very useful is this quality of life mod that I have added. We have now got significantly more information about our turrets. As you can see, there's a lot more information here now than there was before. We're getting the DPS, for example, to be expected. In some cases, we've got the DPS versus shield and the DPS versus hull, where there is a difference. We've got a better idea of how much energy is going to be consumed, where that will normalize with anything that overheats, if I can find something that overheats. Here we are, we've got the build-up, we've got the dissipation. So much really, really cool information there that, honestly, this mod, I'm probably going to keep this one. It's just so useful. But I did want to cover that there are going to be a few things that work a little bit differently than in the base game. So if you have got the game yourself and you notice any differences, that is the reason why. Now then, we've got some subspace signals, which means that there are aliens on their way. But I want to be building. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our captain the Midna, and keep us safe. Currently, we have got actually quite a reasonable amount of firepower on here. I don't think there is any way that I can improve that other than changing these mining lasers to salvaging lasers. So they're kind of ineffective against shields, but they do have, you know, 75 damage per second. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. So let's go ahead and equip these. So we want a salvaging laser right over there, and then another laser over here. Double salvaging laser. I mean, that's only 40. Have we got anything better? We might do, we might not. I mean, the mining DPS is very high, but I'm not sure that it's not going to do that damage to our hull. Granted, the salvage DPS probably won't either, but let's just go ahead and get that equipped if we can, because at the end of the day, it may salvage something useful off a ship that it's attacking as it's going through. That is, if it attacks a wreck, it might just pick something up. So at least that's going to be a little bit more useful to me. Right, so that has been equipped. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump out into our pod by clicking the button up there, exit to drone. There we are. And since you already have a captain, I would like... Oh, you're already off to do something. Very well. I would like you to attack enemies, though. Please. Just do the enemy attacking thing. I think it may have actually been set to try and mine. I was playing around with that a little bit earlier. I assumed that by getting in and then getting back out, it would have reset that, but apparently no. Okay, so we are going to be working on a warship today. So... let's see, we've got quite a lot of materials up here, and I focus on the titanium, not simply because there was a lot of titanium around, but because titanium is especially useful because you can make armor blocks out of it. You can't do that out of neonite. But it's time for us to found a brand spanking new ship. And this is going to be a warship, so it shall be called the HMS Ciri. There we go. And the first thing we're going to want to do, a warship needs to be shielded. That, to me, makes an awful lot of sense. So let's go ahead. The very first thing we're going to do here, we're going to find the shields generator. The energy pattern's again a bit stronger. In fact, the shield generator is going to be something we only build one of, generally speaking. So I'm just going to build this up right now. Let's match the shape. Let's go ahead, and I want to make sure that this is colored with no color so that I can merge things. There we go, good. Right, so we've got this. I would like to build a second one. In fact, I would like to build this many. Oh, do I not have enough? No, I do not. Okay, well, we'll delete that one then, and we'll build it over here instead. Now, Control A, and then merge, and it all becomes one block. There we go. So we've got 3,780 hit points worth of shielding, just from that one block alone. It's a good start. It's a good start. Okay, so with that we've got a basic shape to the crew quarters. We've also got the beginnings of the thruster section. Now I just want to come out of there, make sure that everything else is going okay back here. It looks like there are salesmen who are hateful towards me and a group of... Wow, okay, there's lots of alien ships showing up. This may actually get a little bit dangerous to be in here. Well, fair enough. I guess we're giving this area to the aliens right now, or at least until a time when I'm powerful enough to come back and take it from them. Now, with the area up top, my goal here is to have a fairly heavily armored surface where I'm going to be able to place the majority of my weapon systems, but I want it to be tiered. I want it to have a slope, so I can have weapon systems at the front, then tiered weapon systems a little bit further behind. We're going to have most of our weapon systems on the top there, maybe a few at the bottom, but if we do have any at the bottom, they're going to be very, very few indeed. I also want more thrusters. Thrusters are going to be a fairly important section for this. However, I still want a bit more engine space, and I'm thinking of having more of a curve going back from the side section over here. So really what we need to do right now is to decide on how we're going to achieve that. We need to have the nose set up properly, and I'm thinking we could probably fit a little bit of cargo space in here just in case we ever want it. I'm not sure entirely on whether I should or not, because ultimately this is meant to be a combat vessel. In fact, yeah, we're gonna stick with this, I think. Okay, I'm not sure how much of the shaping of the front of the craft I will have cut out, as a lot of it was me experimenting and trying to get the right kind of shape. You will notice that the front of Ciri has fangs, because Ciri has fangs. Also, I am currently moving in towards this station because I desperately need mechanics. Unfortunately, my ship has gone without a crew for so long that it's actually starting to just take systems damage because it doesn't have the necessary crew to maintain the hull, and we are hemorrhaging materials as a result. So I have just blasted my way over here. We've still got quite a number of aliens in the area, and also there's a fighter attacking this dock. How marvelous. Right, hopefully I can simply purchase some crew. I just need, I don't know, how many mechanics do I need? I'm not anywhere close enough anymore, am I? No, let's just move over here. Everything is slow right now because I do not have the required crew. Please don't crash into me. Oh. That was far, far closer than I liked. Alright, how many do we need? We need 5 engineers to maintain and run all technical blocks, and 6 mechanics to keep things going. My goodness. How many crew quarters do we have on this ship? We have 30, I think, actually. Yeah, so, well, fair enough. Let's go ahead and hire the crew that we need. Now, we wanted 5 mechanics, I believe it was. Actually, let me just hire these people. I need more sergeants. Well, drat. I guess I'll just grab 10 other people and they can fill various roles as is necessary. There we go. We are no longer hemorrhaging structural points because I was running out of neonite because my shield systems were being damaged. In the end, it was like, okay, yeah, I really need to fix this. However, that does kind of bring us on to another point. I've noticed that regular crewmen, untrained crewmen, will gradually become better engineers. We've got 5 professional mechanics. These are 5 untrained engineers. They'll eventually become professional engineers after they have been in the job long enough. You have made this remarkably awkward. Let me just move safely around you, and then I'm going to have you return to passive mode, please. So there we are, passive. That way you won't be following me around all the time. There we go. Oh, that is actually quite a lot of speed that we can get there. Okay, well, that was just a tiny little boost, and it already flung us this far away from the station. Alright, fair enough, but I guess we can actually see what my real stats are. Thrust is 40.5, and my brake thrust is still only 6.8. That right there needs to be drastically improved, I feel. But it is back to building for me, and we're going to continue working on Ciri here. But one thing is clear, we need much more reverse thrust, and that's actually what this section is going to be used for. And there we go. Wow, that has taken me a long time. In total, the recording session so far is 2 hours and a half. 2 hours and 28 minutes and 30 seconds. And I have just finished the shaping on this. This, by the way, is why. To everyone who asks, why can't I put these out 2 times a day or at least daily? This is why. It takes me an enormous amount of time to record these videos, but I am actually quite happy with the result. I'm not even thinking of painting it. I kind of like the default armor color on this. It really does give the HMSS Ciri a look of a military ship. Now, there are a few problems here. The brake thrust is atrocious. It is really not high enough. And since the changes to the way that brake thrust, or rather thrust at all, is calculated now, it's reasonably hard to manage. I'm gonna have to work out where I can put that in. Yaw and pitch, I'm not actually too happy with that. The roll is fantastic. We can roll amazingly, but a longer ship would help us out with roll and pitch, or rather pitch, more than anything else. However, yaw is terrible because we've got very few thrusters laterally. But let's have a look at how this ship turns around. It is slow to turn, very slow to turn, and once it gets up any kind of speed, it is going to be very slow to slow down. Now then, we've got a reasonable amount of armor, a reasonable amount of shield. It is time probably for us to have a look at some of these system slots. How many have we got? We've got 4 so far. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that we are absolutely going to want some shields in these, so let's drop that in there. It gives us a reasonable amount of shielding, I feel. We've got 2 all turrets there. I wouldn't mind that. Whoa, if I put that in there, we would never be able to stop. Recharge rate, that's actually not too bad, all things considered. I would like to focus on getting some armed turrets on this, though. Let's see. What other shields have we got? Shield recharge rate, shield durability, shield recharge rate. And it doesn't actually take that much energy, so sure, we'll add that on there as well. Now our shield will recharge just that little bit faster. Now, the all turrets are not that useful if I want armed turrets specifically, and that's more or less what we want here. Let's get that equipped as well. Is there anything else that we could do with... I don't think so. I mean, we could give this ship an ability to jump much further, but I'm not really certain that that would actually benefit us that much. So you know what, I'm going to go ahead and add that one as well. So that's all of our system upgrade slots used, and we have got a lot of weapons that we can now apply. Our generator, it's not great. It's not great. If we put on power hungry weapons, that is actually going to hurt a little bit. So maybe, possibly, we should take some of these down. If we take that off, actually, let's go ahead and take that one off there. That gives us quite a reasonable amount of energy generation now, so that isn't too bad. Is there anything else that I would like? Shield recharge rate wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I kind of like these rather than ones that use up a percentage. There we go. We'll go with that. Now, as for the actual weapon systems themselves, let's have a quick gander at what we want to place on Ciri then. Now, we can cross-reference this with my player menu, and in the inventory, I can go ahead and say damage type. I don't really care too much for the material. It is mostly the overall damage is going to be able to output. There we go. That is pretty much all that we can fit on this ship. 8 of 8, and we could have one other weapon on here, a salvager of some sort, I'm sure. Let's actually see if there is a decent salvager, but realistically, I'm not... No, actually, you know what? Let's not even put it there. All it would do is encourage the AI to do silly things, like fly really super close. But there we go. That is all that we needed for Ciri. Ciri now has quite... Well, actually, let's check out her damage, her firepower. 568. I mean, it's not great, but it's certainly not bad either. We could set these up as 1 and on all the others as 2. There we go. And that way we've got long range firepower and then close range firepower. This system has been utterly destroyed by me being here for so long. For 2 hours I've just been sat here and the aliens have just been gradually building up their forces. It's going to be hard to remove them at this point. Right, we need quite a lot of crew. So let's have a quick gander. We currently have 30 crew quarters and we need a lot of gunners. Let's go ahead and get as many gunners as we can. We'll buy all 9 of those gunners. I need more sergeants, apparently. Yeah, fair enough. Let's go ahead and buy another 4 people there. Hopefully they'll get moved around. We still need more gunners. Let's go ahead and hire all of the gunners that we can. And that gives us a healthy amount of people here. I'm actually going to go ahead and hire another 5 engineers as well, just to help out there. Is there anything else we really need? Not particularly. I could buy the last 2 mechanics, just because. I need more sergeants. Of course I need more sergeants. Have I not got enough sergeants? Can I not get more sergeants? I should be able to assign another one. There we go. And then we can get all of you. And there we are. That is glorious. Now, I'm thinking it would probably be wise of us to pick up all of the remaining just nondescript crew members, the untrained crew members, just to back us up should there be a need. So they can step into the various roles as and when there's actually a need for that. Now, oh man, Ciri does move fairly slowly. However, we have got... Oh, we're overpopulated. There we go. We'll just leave it at that. And we'll be happy with that. Okay, there we are. We probably do need to put a little bit more crew on this, but for now, I'm fairly happy with things as they are. And in fact, let's actually check out how far can we jump. We've got a regular jump distance. I would like to improve that in time, but for the time being, I'm not super in need of doing that. I'm not really worried about it. I am going to transfer the captain across, though. So there we go. Ciri now has a captain. Let's transfer. Now, at this point, Ciri can follow orders. Fantastic. Right, I would like you to escort me for now. That is the only thing that I want you to do. Now, we are significantly faster in this wee ship. But Ciri should hopefully be quite dangerous. Let's test that out, shall we? Now, I've got a much greater jump distance than Ciri does. And that is actually a problem because it means that I'm not going to easily be able to work out how far Ciri can travel. But what we could do is perhaps just float around a little bit until we find some scallywags and then have Ciri join in the fight. So for now, I simply want to move to the north. Wow, the aliens really dislike that salesman. I don't know what they've sold in the past, but the aliens do not approve. That is a lot of firepower. And to be fair to Ciri, Ciri's actually almost twice as fast as this ship under normal thrust. The AI never seems to use the boost function though, which is why it sometimes takes a long time. But that's why I didn't fly Ciri over here, because I'd have even had a longer wait for Midnight to catch up. But here, Ciri comes. Ciri's been slowing down for a long time, to be fair. I'm actually impressed. Ciri seems to understand how all of this momentum stuff works. Now, this is what happens when you go through a gate with someone following you. Hopefully, they follow you all the way through. And ideally, they shouldn't be directly in front of me on the other side. Why is this directly in front of someone on the other side? What? This is a frigate. Ah! Ciri, watch out! Ah. Poor Ciri. But yes, AIs will follow you. Don't reverse through the gate, Ciri. Bad. Ciri. No. Ciri. No. I just had to pay twice for that. You douche. Now, I need to be over here. Ciri, pain bad. Why? At least you didn't go back through the gate this time. That is a good thing, I suppose. But you did just damage something. I'm fairly certain. You knocked a bit off Midna, I think. Let's see. Actually, Midna doesn't have a captain. Okay, Ciri, you stay here. I'm going to be right back. Oh my lord. It is actually like trying to hurt ferrets right now. The one thing that I'm uncertain of is wormholes. I'm not sure that a ship will use a wormhole if it's got an AI captain. Now that would be a bit of a problem as well, you can imagine. Am I close enough yet? No, I need to be in knife fight distance apparently. There we go. Right, what did you break off, Ciri? I need to repair that now. Have a look. What was broken? Something broke off, I think. It's gonna cost me neonite to repair. Ah, yes, scoundrel you. Whatever. Right, okay, so that's all done now. Ciri, you should generally follow me. There's so much stuff in here, though, that we're probably not gonna have anything to do. However, let's have a look at where we can go to next. There is a little beacon over there, and I'm fairly certain that Ciri would be able to have some fun with whatever lives there. So we need to be going through this gate, I believe, the east-northeast gate. Okay, I will bring you back when we've managed to reach that distress beacon. Okay, now from what I understand, you never really need to wait on the following ship to calculate the jump route, or at least I've not noticed that. It's just as soon as you can jump, they'll jump with you. So let's see if that actually works out that way. And unsurprisingly, haha, fake distress call worked. You're as good as dead, maggot. Please be with me, Ciri, please. Ah, fantastic. Ciri, kill all the bad people. Attack enemies while I run away. Enjoy your fun. Please don't die. I've spent 2.5 hours building you. Also, you're named after one of my ferrets. I feel emotionally connected. Okay, well, hopefully Ciri just destroys everything utterly. Let's see how quickly you melt versus how quickly Ciri melts. Her shield is barely touched. Now, I want to remain quite far away from all of these scallywags, really. I am not going to get even remotely near to Ciri right now. However, what I will do is plan another jump. There we go. I'll pop those in, and if need be, I can call Ciri back. Ciri's lost 1 point of shields, and the shields are actually dropping fairly quickly, to be fair. Not liking that at all. Who is Ciri working on now? It would look like Ciri is working on this one at the moment. Now, Ciri's under attack by quite a lot of the enemies at this point. It's an awful lot of firepower going her way. None of them even remotely as powerful as she is, but the AI commander is not exactly the brightest bulb in the box, I've got to be honest. Now, just standing there and tanking it all to the face. I mean, I can admire that, certainly, but I would prefer it if Ciri was dishing out a little bit more damage, honestly. Let's zoom out and have a look at the tactical map. There we go. Who is Ciri actually attacking right now? It would look like this one. She's almost down to half shields. She's annihilated 2 of the enemies and is kind of spreading her damage right now, which is not something I approve of. Though, at least in this game, you do actually damage the enemy ships quite a lot from just knocking off systems, breaking off guns, that sort of thing. So it isn't as bad as in some games where if you spread the damage, you are really weakening yourself. Now, are you going to be able to wipe anyone out? Because I'm about to call you back. Ciri's shield is rapidly depleting. There's a couple of people that you could finish off right now if you can just line up the shots on them. Let's see. It's getting close. I'm going to wait until the last moment to recall Ciri, but we'll see how this goes down. Who are you fighting next? That one is gone. Come on, Ciri. I feel it would be a shame for me to pull you back at this point. No, that's it. We're going all in. Ciri's not coming out of this. If she fails, then she's going to die with honor. It won't even be a failure. I'll have learned something. Ciri will sacrifice her life so that I can learn to build better ships, basically. You really do need to turn a little bit better. More maneuverability, because your guns can only fire a very limited arc. Your shields are almost ready to crack. On the plus side, Ciri's outer coating is pretty much entirely titanium, so very, very easy to fix. Very easy to fix. And Ciri is finishing them off. I think this is going to be a win for us. Come on, Ciri, you can do it. You've barely taken any actual hull damage. You're down to 97.1. And you've wiped out all of these marauders. Granted, you did have like 10 times as much firepower as any one of them alone. Though that being said, there were about 7 or 8 of them. So, you know, it wasn't a one-sided battle. It was one very powerful ship against a multitude of weaker ships. Really need to work on her ability to turn, because that's really what's hurting right now. She has a very limited firing arc. If her underbelly is showing to the enemy, then none of her guns can fire. And that is largely my fault, really, there. I need to work on that, clearly. But that was that. Well done, Siri. Let's zoom right back in and then go and say hello. Right, I would like to hop over if I can. There we go. Switch and see how much it's going to cost to repair the ship. Not that much neonite, honestly. It's mostly credits. Did we lose anything important? Where did we lose the neonite then? What on earth? Oh, it might be that got damaged. If I actually had the means to repair that normally. Let's have a look around. What needs to be repaired? I can't actually see anything that got blown off. That's really good, because that can simply be repaired with a repair beam. If a cube gets broken off completely, the only way to repair it is to build it again from scratch using all the materials. Or you can go to a repair shop and the cost is just a little bit less. But if it is only damaged and not broken, then you can actually use a repair beam and just energy to repair it, which is actually super, super useful, as you can no doubt imagine. Okay, well, the last thing I could do, you know what, sure. Midna is gonna finish off this fight by cleaning up after Ciri. Oh, it's like real life, only reversed, because Ciri is usually the one that cleans up after everyone else. Right, I am going to need to transfer the captain over. There we go. And then switch my command. And this is a new mod, so it's going to be one of the last things that we do in this episode. I have added in a mod that allows us to salvage. Now, the salvage command works in exactly the same way the mine command does, in that this will tell the ship to attack wrecks. This one tells it to only attack wrecks it can get something from. The other one, clear sector, literally tells it just clear everything. Demolish every bit of scrap in this system, no matter whether you're going to get any resources from it or not. Now, the other nice thing I have noted when seeing this used, it does appear that the captain will make a point of going to pick things up as well. But there are a few caveats in the way that it is used. The chief one amongst them is that the ship is obnoxiously obsessed with even the tiniest bit of scrap. If it is worth 1 iron, it will stay to salvage it, which is, as you can probably imagine, a little bit of a pain. But that being said, it's a lot better than doing it yourself. Let me tell you that much for nothing. It would take me... Well, the cost to me doing this manually is more measured in sanity than time. So this is a good compromise. It takes a bit longer, but I don't slowly lose my mind. Now, I would be very, very thankful if you could let me know what you thought about this episode. In total, I've been recording for 3 hours and a quarter. I will endeavor to cut this down to around about half an hour. I received quite a lot of feedback on the last really long time-lapse build episode, that it was a little bit too long. I think it was about an hour in total, so I will aim to about half an hour if I can. But understand that about 2 hours of this was building. There is no way that I can compress that down in a meaningful way without it moving past so quickly that no one can actually see the details of anything I'm doing. So there's going to be cuts here and there, and I'll hopefully get a little bit better with cutting in general. But that's where you can come in. Do leave me any kinds of feedback that you have on the quality of the video, the speed of the cuts, the speed of the time-lapse, whether it was too fast, too slow, that sort of thing. And hopefully we can look forward to more episodes like this in the future. But that is all for me. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed and will be joining me again in the future. But as always, remember to like if you liked, sub if you haven't. And until next time, from Ciri, Midna, and myself, do take care.